BlackRock is up to 170,000 Bitcoin. What did I tell you guys? I warned you guys. BlackRock is accumulating Bitcoin at 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 a ferocious rate. I mean, they are closing in on MicroStrategy so fast. MicroStrategy has 193,000. Saylor said that he's trying to raise 600 million more, okay, for more Bitcoin purchases, of course. But BlackRock, within a month and a half, has almost caught up. This is how much buying is going on right now. And let's not forget Fidelity at 110,000 Bitcoin. That's not too shabby either. And then you add up all the rest, ARK, Bitwise, and everyone else, you're talking about close to another 100,000 Bitcoin. I mean, overall, that's a lot of Bitcoin being eaten up, okay, within a short amount of time. So if you're wondering why Bitcoin is not going down, why does it keep on going up? This is the reason. This is the reason. Even Grayscale selling can't offset the buying that's going on right now. And there will be a lot more buying. BlackRock today sent a couple of applications to the SEC in regards to adding their Bitcoin ETF into other ETFs that they hold. We knew this was coming, right? There's a lot of other ETFs out there. And now BlackRock wants to throw their ETF, their Bitcoin ETF specifically, into them. So it's expanding. Right now, we just have Bitcoin spot ETFs and futures ETFs, but no one cares about future ETFs. But the spot ETFs are going to grow. They're going to keep on growing. And there's going to be more buying and more demand as we move forward in this year. There's too much demand and not enough supply. That's why he believes that Bitcoin could top 200,000, not the end of the cycle, 200,000 by the end of this year. Man, that would be absolutely nutty, okay? And it seems unreasonable. At this point in time, it seems like there's just no way Bitcoin can get to 200,000 by the end of this year. Because if it does, where will Bitcoin be by the end of 2025? 500,000, $1 million? That would be crazy. But if you think about what's happening right now, we moved Bitcoin from 52,000 to about 68,000 in simply 1 week's time frame. Imagine what's going to happen when Bitcoin breaks its 69,000. We head into 70, 72, 75. If we keep on going, we top 100,000, things will get really nutty. Things will get extremely nutty. And maybe by the end of this year, we can hit 200,000. Maybe mid of this year, we're going to be at 125,000. So then by the end of the year, we could. Now, why does he think this is going to happen? Well, he's talking about institutions, of course, and warehouses. And he believes that a lot of institutions still cannot buy spot ETFs, but they will be able to as more things turn up right now. I guess it's kind of part of building the infrastructure, okay, so to speak. And it's building. And there's just not enough supply. It's such a simple concept that I've been talking about forever. Why does anything go up in price? Because the demand is doing this and the supply is doing this. That's really it for anything. And that includes Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is the only asset that we know of. Well, discounting some alts, but compared to anything else out there on the planet, Bitcoin is the only one we know with 100% certainty that there is a set supply. And we know exactly how much is being released per day, how much is being held, how much is lost and hasn't been moved, right? We know exactly where every single SAT, every single Bitcoin is, unlike anything else out there. And we know for a certainty that there will only be 21 million and there will never be any more. Unlike any other asset class there is, that's not the thing. There will be more gold, more oil, more whatever, silver. We just don't know. But with Bitcoin, we do, right? There's just not enough supply. There's not enough single Bitcoins out there for every millionaire on the planet. So think about how rare it is. And we are about to cut that 900 produced per day to 450 per day in about a month and a half. After the halving event, it's going to become even scarcer. The inflation rate will be cut in half. That's another reason why Bitcoin can go absolutely astronomical and become real nutty by mid and end of this year. There are so many reasons. So many reasons. You see Tether minting $1 billion here and there and everywhere. Like literally every week you see Tether print another billion, and it's because people are buying up. They are buying up Bitcoin and crypto with their fiat because no one wants to hold a lot of fiat these days. When you hold a lot of fiat, all you're seeing is the fiat get diminished by inflation. Your buying power just keeps on decreasing when you hold a lot of fiat. It doesn't even have to be a lot of fiat, it's just fiat in general, right? That's why Bitcoin is already all-time high in like 100 plus countries because of inflation, including Europe already, right? Even though USD were so close, but in so many countries, even first world nations, Bitcoin is already at all-time high because of the nasty inflation that has been happening over the last few years, right? That's why we want Bitcoin. That's why we want to hold an asset that has a set supply, that has infinite amount of demand, and will not artificially inflate and be controlled by any central bank or any government out there, right? That's the beauty of Bitcoin. And once people really realize that, then they will FOMO in. They will FOMO in hard. If you think FOMO is hard now, wait until you see what happens next. All right. Now, besides Tether, you got a lot of whales that are just buying and buying and buying and buying some more. I mean, I could show buys all day long. They are buying not just a few hundred, not just a few thousand. They're buying by the hundreds of millions. And as for this cycle, in case you're wondering, well, maybe we're getting close to the top. Maybe we move so fast. Maybe 100,000 is the top. Well, if we're measuring it according to previous cycles, we have a lot of charts and metrics to measure against the previous cycles. We're nowhere close to top. Not even close. If you're looking at this, the Bitcoin macro index from Willy Woo, and you look at the blue dots, those were the points when Bitcoin started going parabolic. And you could see the exact times when Bitcoin just basically moonshotted. We're not even there yet. We're close. We're not there yet because we're not at the halving event. Because this kind of moonshot event doesn't usually happen before the halving event. And we're kickstarting it early already. So if you're measuring where we are versus previous cycles, we're nowhere close. Nowhere close to hitting the top. And here's another measurement, Bitcoin MVRV Z-score, same thing. If you're measuring the tops of previous cycles and where we are versus those previous tops, again, nowhere close. Nowhere close. So that kind of shows you how much more, how much more room we have, right? 200,000 by the end of this year. I mean, if we seriously hit 70s or 80s before the halving event, maybe off chance we hit 100,000 by the halving event. If we hit 100,000 by halving event, do you really think 200,000 by the end of the year is unreasonable? But I mean, imagine that. If we hit 100,000 by a halving event, 200,000 by the end of this year is actually conservative.